Dr. Gerard here, and I want to talk about a question that I hear a lot in the office. This past week, a patient of ours asked why was she hurting? Because after all, she'd done nothing that could have caused the pain. She hadn't fallen, she hadn't been involved in an accident, she hadn't done any heavy lifting or performed any sporting events, and yet she was really hurting. And so that question is a great question, because generally what happens in the absence of massive trauma, which is easy to recognize, what generally happens is that people have been under cumulative stress for long periods of time. And this stress manifests in a way that we don't always recognize in the moment. But what happens is we either have a mental, emotional stress, or a physical stress, or it can be a toxic overload stress from poor nutrition or toxins that we're exposed to. And those stressors in the body will literally cause one to subluxate. You're not always misaligned or subluxated in a way that's painful initially. But as time goes on, it's like that proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. And as the camel gets loaded over and over again, at one point the camel falls. And that's what happens with us. We're feeling no pain until we are. And so often people want to blame the last thing they did. They pat their dog, they picked up the newspaper, they reached for the soap. And yet they've done those things thousands of times before with no problem. And yet that one time, the inevitable straw breaks the camel's back. And so we have to look at our overall stress load. How are we doing with that? Because those stressors manifest over time as damage to the spine. And here's how it works. When we're under stress, and it could be mental or emotional or toxic or physical, that stress manifests as putting us into sympathetic dominance. And sympathetic dominance is fight or flight. It's anxious. Parasympathetic is calm and relaxed. It's called the tend and befriend state. But when we're stressed and we're in that anxiety state, that fight or flight, what happens is our big muscles are activated, the muscles that would help us run from the bear or run from the danger. The little muscles in between the joints of the spine, these little tiny muscles, they are inactivated. They are dialed down. So now it's more easy for you to become subluxated or misaligned due to the stress. So that's how you get subluxated when you're under chronic long-term stress. So, solutions. What can you do about this? Well, first of all, you get adjusted, because not only does that align the spine, but that dials down that sympathetic dominance so that it's not causing you to stay in that stress state. Secondly, exercise is simply the best way to deal with that stress and help get you into parasympathetic dominance. Next is deep breathing. When you breathe slowly and deeply, that tells your brain to go off of high alert. It tells your brain everything is okay. You can calm it down. You don't have to stay in high alert. And the next thing is good rest, getting adequate rest. And then the last thing is good nutrition, because poor nutrition stimulates us into fight or flight. So I hope those tips help, and the next time you think about, why am I hurting? It doesn't make sense. I haven't hurt myself. Remember, the straw that broke the camel's back. Have a great day.